Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, how are you, sir?
Fine, sir. I'm glad to join you. I have been having a problem with the connectivity. Hello?
Yeah, with you, sir. With you, sir.
Yeah, I'm just, if you are listening to me right now, I'm just joining. I have been having a problem with activity. I'm very sorry to join lately.
All right, no problem.
Good.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, Mr.
Unmute. Hello.
Hi.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon. How are you?
Hello. Hello.
The network is bad. The network is bad.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. So the network's bad. My name is Trudy. I'm calling in from Toronto. I was supposed to be there in person, but unfortunately, we had a bad snow as well, so I couldn't drive through the snow. But I'm just a couple hour drive from Detroit, from Toronto here to Detroit. You know. So,
Okay.
you started. You were supposed to start at 2, but I couldn't get in. I seem to be muted every minute. It seems that somebody muting me. Have you started? Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
I could hear you loud and clear. Have you just started, or are you just going through the logistics?
No, I am here for over 30 minutes. I've been waiting. You said that actual time is 7. I'm here since 7.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't know
still
why the
waiting to know.
is late.
Why what? I don't know
I see
why.
why the meeting is late. It's 7:30 African
That's what
time, Nigerian time.
that's what I thought. And I don't seem to see anybody currently signing in to the meeting, so I'm not quite sure
Okay.
what's going on. But I am dialing in from Toronto, Canada.
Okay. Yes, I'm joining you from Nigeria, from Abuja.
Is that right? Yeah. So I called and I'm calling.
Hello, everybody submitted. What's going on here? Where are the panelists?
Hello.
Yeah, where are the
Hello, we are
panelists?
hearing you loud and clear.
Yeah.
But can we start though? You know, you can't punish us that came early. We need to win ourselves of this African time.
I think the organizers are trying to get their act together. I'm calling in from.
Yes, Trudy Asidianya, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Who am I to? Who am I
You're
talking?
speaking
Oh,
to Igbo Basics out of New Jersey.
oh, yes, my brother. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good to hear from you.
Try to reach
Good
out
to hear from you.
to
It's called a meeting which is organized by the when it comes to Nigerian doctors, practitioners, of course, very accomplished women. That place. So I am
that the time has come for us to step in. We cannot be making checks on distance. All of us in diaspora, we can also go back home and make a change. It's not just to complain and talk about what is going on there. What are you doing to help to make a change? It's a collective effort. So with this town hall meeting, for those listening to me, please use your PVC to vote for the right candidates. The right candidates. I am not after APC, PDP, or Labour, but use your conscience to vote for the right candidates that will change the narrative of Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Engineer Bosse. Last but not the least, before we quickly go to the real program that we came here for, the debate, I would love to call the current president of the Igbo community in the state of Michigan and president of Mr. Gabriel. A round of applause for Mr. Gabriel.
Good evening. And on protocols, I would like to say that I am a typical or a complete Nigerian. I grew up in Kaduna, Kano. Went back to Enugu, which is my hometown. And also went to Umuahia for my secondary and post-secondary school. Then came here on scholarship from Nigeria with a Nigerian passport. As a result, I want to make sure our support Nigerian existence. Now, one thing we have to realize is, we have said, Nigeria is the largest country, the largest population of people in one place. Unfortunately, Nigeria has been a disappointment to the black race. Despite every blessing that God has given us, we have played around with it. And those that have led us have misled us, stealing, grabbing, and not giving a thought to the common man. That needs to change because the rest of the black race is waiting for us. And as a result, it's incumbent that we Nigerians select the right person to take us to the next level. And for that to happen, we Nigerians, since those of us here cannot vote, those of us at home must forget our tribe, our religion, and do the right thing, so that we can also the rest of the black race up, because we have been treated as if we are trash. By that I mean, and that is because Nigeria has not done this. So as we are here, let us press on. We have only 2 months. Let us press on our folks back home, not to get any political bribes. In other words, don't sell our souls. Do the right thing and move forward. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you very much. Now that it's 2:30 and we're about to start our main program, I need to let us know that we have some ground rules that we want to let us know. We can applaud any great points that any of the debaters make, but please let's be civil in our response. Even when you feel that you're not comfortable with what that debater is saying, we will be civil with how we respond. We are in the university campus, and we know that our eyes are on us all over the world as well. People are on Zoom, so we don't want to be unruly, even though this may get passionate sometimes, because when we have great supporters, we want to show how much emotions we have there. So please, and the debaters, when you make your point, please no insult. Let's try as much as possible to use languages that, even if it's going to be delegated, but at least more civil, so that I understand that we would love to call opponents various kinds of names. But I applaud and appeal to you to be more civil at this time about that. Make your points. The audience are listening. The world is listening. And if you have to criticize your opponent, do so in a more civil manner, so that we can still be able to use the university community in the future, so they will not say, and then you guys know how it is, especially when we get involved. So that being the rules, 3 minutes is the first debate, the first time to present your manifestos of your candidates. Today, we have 3 candidates here. Our 3 representatives of 3 country parties. And they are representing the People's Democratic Party is Mrs. Omolara Williams. Please, a round of applause. Ambassador, please take over. Mr. Omolara, please, I invited up from here. She is a lifelong PDP member. And we have, for the third force party that is trying to wrestle power from the APC, which is the Labour Congress, we have Honorable Mike Ogaka representing Labour Party. We are going to write our questions down. Even some of you will be able to ask questions, but we are trying, like I said, to be civil, because we don't want the floor to start using insults on the question. So please, you have pen and paper, write your questions down, and after they have finished telling us what their support, what their candidates has to offer Nigeria, then we will throw the questions to the floor, and then we will do the remarks, the closing remark, because of time. And then I think Ambassador will organize a refreshment. We have water in the house. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's showtime. Let us hear from those supporters of the candidate. The first person I'm going to call to the podium is the representative of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in person of Mrs. Omolara Williams. A round of applause for Mr. You have 3 minutes to tell us why we should vote for your candidate. 3 minutes to tell us why we should vote for Alhaji Atiku Abubakar.
Thank you very much. My name is Abiodun Omolara Williams. Please permit me to go to my like this. Actually, I expected you to give 5 minutes because I have been so busy with the program. And I was thinking maybe somebody else can just come before me so that I can put on everything I want to say. But notwithstanding, I want to welcome everybody to this wonderful program. I'm a member of People's Democratic Party from my childhood because my mother happened to be a politician. And since the inception of PDP, that is the time I have joined the party, and I have never expected to any other party. Well, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar has been the vice president of this country, of Nigeria, sorry, not America, Nigeria. And he worked with the former president, Olusegun Obasanjo. And like we Americans used to say, being there, done that, he had the experience. He has been there before. But the situation where we find ourselves in Nigeria now, we don't want to experiment. We want people that have the experience of doing it. According to his 5 agenda, he talked about the economy, he talked about the security, he talked about the employment, he talked about the youth development, and at the same time, he talked about how we can bring the best out of Nigeria and being together as one. And that is why we call him the unifier. Alhaji Atiku Abubakar is a unifier. He is not somebody that is tribalistic. He doesn't speak about his own tribe, And if you look at Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, he will tell you, I'm a Pan-African man. And that is it. And so humble. And at the same time, when we're talking about what we really need in the country now, because the ship of the country must not sail. We have to try as much as possible to rescue our country. We are coming up to rebrand, to rescue, and to reset the agenda of the country. Nigeria is a great country. We are full of resources. Many of us that were here outside the country in diaspora. During the regime of Olusegun Obasanjo, when he was the vice president, he brought in a lot of us that were in diaspora. And among us, we find Mr. Additional, who is now the AFDP chairman, president. The same thing, the woman in the World Bank today, it was Alhaji Atiku Abubakar that brought it. And the youth empowerment, most people that are being brought in by Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, they are nothing less than 30 years of age. And all of them, some are even governors there, some are even representing the country outside the country. Same, this is what we want to do. We want to use that experience. We are not talking about testing now. We want to bring in new things that can bring up our country. This is not the issue of I am this ethnicity or yeah, I'm from this tribe or I'm from this tribe. Let us first rescue this country first. Nigeria is one, and I think together we can do it. We should not allow tribe or religion to put us in a situation that we will not like. This is the right time to take the right choice. And Alhaji Atiku Abubakar is a person that can unify us, rebrand, reset, and rescue our country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, for that wonderful 3 minutes. 5 minutes of letting us know what Chief Alhaji Abubakar Atiku will do for Nigeria and the experience he has. Now, I'm going to call on the representatives of the All Progressive Congress. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the candidate, and representing Asiwaju are speaking on why Nigerians should vote Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu to power is Professor Dr. Shaliwa Ola. A round of applause.
Thank you so. It's time for every city we that the moderator said we do represent the largest nation, African nation. At that time, we need people about what it takes. All the people running for the president, you don't know all, so we have well, people. There's something special about in this country in America. Actually, I mean, was one of those who suffer with democracy in Nigeria. He was a member of that who fought so that you see challenge, there's a lot better. This time, economic represents the unemployment of Nigeria. More than 50%. I'm talking about economy that go from well, I do, in the first we are looking for things that we could generate. If you knew what it's all about, he was more relevant. People in terms of education and Nigerians the very far country distinguish education in our format of life. We need security to be improved. Part of the manifesto movement security will be improved in Nigeria immediately before Lagos. Lagos and night security that they are there to increase pay for lawyer security agent, to add more technology but security for the country. We do about restructuring in terms of community policing. Everywhere you live right now, Lagos is still one of the safest places in Nigeria. As a living testimony. Lagos is still one of the safest places to live in Nigeria. And it's also one of the most tribalized in that. When he was governor of Lagos, we have people from the southeast, southwest to be commissioners. We have the best we have in Nigeria to live because he has done it. A lot of people will be talking here. Some of them were governors, challenge them to say how many people they put who are now members of their ethnic tribe. The United Nations we look for the best resources. And these gentlemen have brought the best, regardless of where they come from. And there's a living evidence of that. In youth, he's talking about the youth empowerment country. When he was the governor, the housing minister at this time was his chief of staff, was only 37 years. He brought all of them to the government. Youth, the economy, he has promised in his renewal manifesto that 30% of members of his cabinet. 30 seconds. And last but not least, there's sometimes we talk about food, energy, agricultural energy, and the pacification of the economic base to mostly hydroelectric. We talk about uranium and the program we have. He has come up with a plan so that we could get oil at the time of gas. So we'll have more time to discuss about that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Ola, for standing in for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now we will call on the representative of the Labour Party, standing in for His Excellency Peter Obi. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Honorable Mike Okaka.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator, and ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure today to stand before you and speak about a very wonderful human people like him come once in a lifetime. I'm saying this I think Nigeria and the entire planet is very glad to have him as president of Nigeria. If you check his track records, this is a man who was a trader. He went to school. While he was in school, he was doing business, living out and he had to while he was a student. Making money. So he's been used to creating wealth. When he came to Anambra City, he moved the change from number 6 to the position of education of number 1. Within the first 3 years, was now. This same man, like what Buffett said, if you want to judge a man, judge him by character, intelligence, and this is what Nigeria needs now. Who ever won? I'm not saying this because we're begging for votes like that. Since judging, not because I'm a man, not because he's a trader or whatever, but just thinking for what I'm trying about. This is a man who changed the narrative of that. I don't want to start comparing with other very but Nigeria was Nigeria. These parties, APC was power, and there's still a power in Nigeria. No water, no petrol, no money from the bank. I think that every Nigerian fully proud to Nigeria, Labour Party and political for the change that this is a real change. Most people will come and tell you to be a change, but once they get in there, everybody starts doing it. F. Oh, then, I and just an I. This one I. So now, I'm going to allow you to do that. Why not want to change and change that to make us better? Idea is about 200 million of black people. Working together, black people in the entire world. I think currently of Nigeria is number one now in Africa. The people was going to power to create the propelling higher ground. He's a man of very limited idea. I worked with him and good appetite to compare to the other countries. And say that he's a man whom this guy order schemes and has so much. He has never gotten into corruption. You can go and verify he uses that, and that's what happens. So I'm here to tell you about him, and I'll be taking questions, and I yield. Thank you, gentlemen and ladies.
Thank you very much, Mr. Michael Kaka, representing Peter Obi from the Labour Party. Before questions, we would like to, while you put those questions down, to see if the candidates will do a rebuttal of their candidatures and of their opponents. So, first, I will call back the presidential candidate for PDP. 2 minutes rebuttal of those two other candidates that are challenging Atiku Abubakar.
Thank you so much, Excellency. When you need the pilot to fly a plane through a stormy weather, we never need a pilot that will tell you, I will try to learn how to do it. Or the person that will tell you that I will try to go back to school to learn how to do it. Will you ever try to make use of somebody that is still learning as your pilot in a stormy flight? No, we need somebody that has the experience. Atiku Abubakar has the experience. Another thing I want us to know is that we also need a president who can get us out of this crisis where we find ourselves in Nigeria. And like I always tell people, I don't like comparing or criticizing any other person. I'll tell you exactly what I think my candidate will do. And I want you to look at it if it is possible or not. Also, I want us to look at this. I want you to support Atiku Abubakar because he's going to create jobs. He has done it before. He's doing it even when he's not even in a position, and he's going to do more. I want you to support Atiku Abubakar because he's a lover of education. Even those children that involved in this Chibok crisis, Atiku brought some of them to the United States of America to come and learn. It's because he appreciates education. If you look at the way he started in his own life, you know that he understands what it takes to have education. Atiku also personified the brand of politics in Nigeria. He has yearned for that since independence from Great Britain, and he's still doing that. Atiku is LD, and a LD person will always be there for us at any time. For Nigerian workers, you need to know that not only does Atiku employ more than most state governments, but he's still going to do more.
Thank you very much. 2 minutes up. That was wonderful presentation of the PDP candidate. Education is very important from what I educated from us. So we will now call on the party of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the candidates, the representative, Professor Shalewa Ola, to do a rebuttal on both Atiku and Peter Obi. 2 minutes.
Thank you so much. I think the issue we have here, as we said before, the situation becomes. He represents the system when he was the governor of Lagos State. And if you ask people now, people identify he laid the infrastructure of what a nation could be. This is built, and I agree with PDP, it's built by experience. People who have the tenacity, the capacity to build a nation. A state, right now, Lagos is deemed to be the 6th largest economy in Africa. It's a city, it's a state, but it's the 6th largest economy. They all based on the formula of His Excellency Tinubu, who will be the next president of Nigeria, come on the 25th. And all of our people here, they are Lagosian. Governor of the former governor has a house in Lagos. That's how accessible Lagos is. That if we have a house in Lagos, you know, so the whole place, he bring everybody together. And then when he built Nigeria, he built one of the largest economies. Like I said, this is the situation, the security and economy. That's the problem we have. You have the Sweden.
Thank you very much, Professor Shaliwa. Without much ado, I will call on the representatives of the Labour Party, representing its candidate, Peter Obi, Mr. Mike Okaka.
Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here again. If I listen to what my very respected representatives of their various party presidential candidates. First of all, when we talk about creation of jobs, like the article representative said, she said that article knows how to create jobs. Well, I still, most Nigerians, most honest Nigerians can attest to you that Peter Obi is exemplary in that track. Talk about creation of jobs and creation of wealth. You look at the MDG projects, that's the Millennium Development Goals, that was created by the World Bank for about 50 years, I think. When they came to Africa, Nigeria and the state, Anambra State was #1, and that was when Peter was governor. And you can't talk about economic creation of wealth and not talk about it. Because if so, when he was 40 years old, when he was the chairman of the first bank in Nigeria, of Fidelity Bank in Nigeria, he was 40 years old, he was the youngest ever chairman. And this is what the guy, when they budgeted so much money for his office, instead of him to buy elaborate vehicles, just bought the Peugeot 504 that was built in Nigeria. That's what he did. This is a man who has been given to probity and conserve resources. Now that Nigeria is so, the spendthrift, when you have people like, the presidential candidate for the other party, APC, when he was leaving office, they crafted remunerations for retired governors. They put themselves into billions, and it still takes the money up to today. People, since he left the office, Anambra State has not bought in a bottle of water. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. The three, we will now applaud for all of them. Please give them a round of applause, a big round of applause. Now it's question time. You all have microphones. You don't have to stand up so you can answer those questions. So all of you, are your microphones working? All right, the first one goes to the PDP. And he says, what are the principles of the PDP? And then I'm going to do 2 questions at a time to make it faster. So it says, what are the principles of the PDP? And then the second question says, how can Atiku unite Nigeria when he is not able to unite his PDP party? After 8 years in government, can you tell us the accomplishment of Atiku? So those are the two questions.
You want me to answer that? Okay, thank you so much. I want to appreciate the person that sent that question. PDP is about unity. PDP is about progress. That is the principle. The best for the country. I remember the 16 years when we are in government, a lot of things that we were able to achieve. Even this use of communication that you can see many of our people that joined us from home. There wasn't anything like Nigerian Communication Commission before. It was PDP that brought it. There wasn't anything like this. It was PDP that brought it. A lot of things that PDP brought in when they were in government. And that was the time Alhaji Atiku Abubakar happened to be the vice president of that country. Another thing is that the second question said that how can Atiku unite Nigeria when the party is divided? I want to stand and say this very well for everyone of us to know. PDP is one and PDP is not divided. There is no party that will tell me they don't have internal crisis. And politics is always about interest. And if you can look at it, despite all this issue, because I know the issue they are talking about is the issue of the G5. Since this issue started, you can never hear Alhaji Atiku Abubakar saying anything bad or evil about any other anyone among them in the G5. He kept telling the Nigerians and everybody that they are one and they will definitely settle because it is an internal crisis which happened in other political parties. So PDP is not divided. PDP is one. The last question.
The last question?
Yes, you gave me 3 questions.
Last question. After 8 years,
after 16, I want to correct the person that said that it was 16 years that PDP ruled in Nigeria. And I'm proud to say it. Peter Obi happens to be the vice presidential candidate of the party just 4 years ago. He said a lot of things about the party. Even the day Alhaji Atiku Abubakar was declaring for the position of president, His Excellency Peter Obi was there, and he gave some interview where he said, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar is a mentor, he's a leader that the country wants, and if people can vote for him, he's somebody that will definitely deliver the country. So we have a lot that we have achieved. And if we have achieved those at that time, the economic thing that we ever had in Nigeria was during Alhaji Atiku Abubakar when he was the vice president, along with President Olusegun Obasanjo.
Thank you very much, Mr. Olara.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it. Ambassador, please could you, if you can I've seen some questions from people on Zoom, so if we can gather those questions, we can ask our representative here. Now, these questions, from what I have here, APC has a lot of questions. They have the most questions, but I'll ask 2 at a time or maybe 3. So the first one, Professor Ola, is, does your party promote inclusivity? Why a Muslim ticket? That's the first question. If it promotes inclusivity, why a Muslim? And the second one, it says, given that Nigeria is upside down, why would anyone, especially the diaspora, want to retain the same political party that has destroyed our country at a time when everyone is crying out for change? That's the second one. So the third one is, are we sure that Ashwani will not convert the Nigerian properties into his personal properties, like he did in Lagos after his governorship in Lagos State? So those are the first three questions.
Thank you so much. Do you expect questions like that? Because when the odds is on your favor, it's like that.
Given that, why would anyone, especially the diaspora, want to retain the same political party that has destroyed our country at the time when everyone is crying out? And the third one, Tinubu, are we sure that Tinubu will not convert the Nigerian property into his personal properties like he did in Lagos after his governorship?
Well, the question is he belongs to the party who carries the corruption. You cannot, it belongs to the ladies, but Tinubu is not the president. It's not, he has been out of government by the last time of government. It's one of the chief laws in the body, but it's not the number. Let's get that straight. For that, and the government has also infrastructure. So we continue to do better, but Tinubu is not part of it. And the other one is issues of commercial rights or allegation. There's nobody in Nigeria who has ever investigated more than allegedly what I mentioned. The EFCC have been investigating, the FBI, Scotland Yard, everybody has. At no time has he ever from brutal or enemies. But it's all right. Because like the who much is given, much is respect. They do expect you to say respect. That's what we're saying, especially people coming from Nigeria. You see this track record. How many people have been fed in Nigeria? How many people get their jobs? Like this economy. Anybody that goes down to this, you ask the people who know the road, so you miss the road. That's what we are saying.
Thank you so much for that. Now we have questions for the Labour Party. Thank you. The first question to the Labour is: many people from Nigeria. Sorry, the mic is not working. Thank you so much. Your question again, Labour Party representatives. Many people from Nigeria get educated, then move abroad. What is Peter Obi's plan to get these people to move back to Nigeria, invest in Nigeria? Will there be incentives for doing so? For investment back will create jobs, help build infrastructure, etc. That's number one question. And then the second question is, there's a rumor or insinuation that OBJ is presently working an alliance for stability between PDP and Labour. What if this idea works out? How will your response, how will you respond or reaction be for your candidate, Peter Obi? And then the third one is, does Peter Obi have a plan in place to unify the Hausa, Yoruba, and the Igbo? What has he done in the past to unify everyone?
Thank you very much. Let me start from the third one. In terms of unifying the different races in Nigeria, different tribes of Nigeria, I would say that Peter Obi is the only person who has a track record of doing that, and he will do it efficiently. Look at his choice of vice presidential candidates. Ati Baba Ahmed is the core northerners from the Fulani tribe. He went and picked it, and he's a Muslim, so he knows how to balance out things. That Nigeria is a multicultural, multi-religious society. So he feels, he knows where we should lead to get us better results. So he chose a Muslim as his vice presidential candidate and a younger person too. Very energetic, because a country like Nigeria needs a lot of energy and strength to govern it, to rule it properly. Then going to in terms of unification, when he was, I go back to when he was governor of Anambra State, he was the only governor that had every member of the House of Assembly not from his own party. He ruled Anambra State, he governed Anambra State without a single member of the House of Assembly from Afghan, which was his, that was his party there. This is a people's man. This is somebody I know and I feel that is ordained by God to govern and govern appropriately. Because when you look at your leader, if he rules well, if he governs you properly, there will be peace. When he built the best network of roads in Anambra State, and there was no rancor anywhere. So he's going to be able to unite. Then the second question was the issue of diaspora, making people who are most Nigerians to come back to Nigeria and invest and grow. See, if you take, for instance, I tell you about India. Do you remember when India, most schools, even in America here, you had professors who were mostly from India? What India did then was they had to grow their diaspora. They took their most intelligent people, educated them properly in India, and exported them to other countries of Africa. I was taught in school by a famous who was Professor Matatri. In school there at Isoga, he was from India. So Nigeria will grow a pool of professionals that will be exported to other countries, and that will earn us foreign exchange. That's what India used to grow. So it's going to do that in Nigeria. When you look at even in America, they've said that most educated people who are foreigners in this country are Nigerians. So we're proud of that. It's going to create into that and make it grow. Now, what was the other question?
The third one was why the other one was
the PDP and Labour. Well, it's interesting because they say if you're a good bride, people want to marry you. You're beautiful.
Give me a minute first. That question, I had something on the other side. He says, I'll repeat the question. There's a rumor, insinuation that OBJ is presently working on an alliance, possibly between PDP and Labour Party. If the idea works out, how will your response or reaction be if your candidate, Peter Obi, is prevailed upon to vie or run as VP to Atiku? Would you still dedicatedly and wholeheartedly believe in him and continue working for him as you are presently doing? That's the whole question.
Okay. Thank you very much. You see, the issue of leadership, we don't see it as life and death, especially in Labour Party. If eventually, you know, Labour Party is like a beautiful bride. I go back to that beautiful bride. If you're a beautiful bride, you have too many suitors coming, everybody wants to marry you. And that's what Labour Party is like now in Nigeria. So if eventually, you know, any of these suitors come by and wants to settle with any of it, that's fine. But we're not going to struggle for what roles, vice presidential or presidents. But well, in Nigeria, we know that for inclusivity, I heard you say that, first of all, you know that the tribe that he comes from, which is the Igbo tribe, have never been presidents in Nigeria for a long while. So I think, for equity, it behoves on Nigerians to accept an Igbo man now as a president. But that's not the issue. We want to have somebody who has competence, capacity, and strength to govern Nigeria, to rule and govern Nigeria. And extricate Nigeria from this mess we are in. And it's only Peter Obi out of the three other candidates, major candidates, that will do it. He's not corrupt. He's the only man that doesn't have it. He has never had any case with EFCC.
So thank you very much.
Thank you.
This questions goes to all of you. It's going to be the same questions for the three candidates. You have only 1 minute. Now I will call on the APC representative first. It says, how would your party solve the problem of youth unemployment?
Yes, thank you so much. That is also part of the APC manifesto. Because if you see our manifesto, we recognize that this is the power belongs to the youth. And what has the body, or should I have you have promised that he's going to make 30% of his administration youth, and he's also recognized the power of IT, the broadband, that he is going to invest heavily on the broadband and make sure we have educate our youth, because they are the leader of the entertainment industry. So remember, Nigeria just won one of the best performance in the world. We're going to invest a lot. We're going to get our economy from consumer to production. Those are areas where that's why you
same question to the people. How would your party solve the problem of youth unemployment?
Thank you very much. Alhaji Atiku Abubakar is someone that loves the youth very well, and everything he always do, he will tell you that we need to grow our youth. We need to allow them to have some facility for them to grow, and also be able to compete among the other youth in the whole world. He said something about Minister of Youth and Sport. He said the person that is going to lead Minister of Youth. And because we have done that before, we cannot doubt it. And remember how good was Akim Addition and the president. I remember how old was electricity as the other ones like that when the problem in the economy. Even in those two. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The Labour Party representative here, Mr. Mike, same question. How would your party solve the problem of youth unemployment? 1 minute.
The youth, for youth unemployment in Nigeria, for Labour Party, that's the main. I've heard people have heard about structure, no structure, no structure. The structure of Labour Party is the youth. So this will be our main focus. And the youth are over 8% of the voting class in Nigeria. And that's our that's going to be my presidential candidate's main focus. He's always lived and fought for the youth. Now, in terms of employment, when he was doing Anambra, and I keep going back to the state, he had something they call skills acquisition centers that he developed in every local government in Anambra State. So most of these youths who were, hangers on playing around, they got to learn different types of trades. And each time they graduated from there, they gave them empowerment, grants to go into businesses.
1 minute time up. Thank you so much.
Okay. I was going to talk about, these guys, the Yahoo people. Peter Obi has a main plan for them.
You will have another opportunity.
Thank
you. Continue. This is a question for all. And also you can always take your 5 seconds from the other one. It goes back to Professor Ola. What's your candidate's position on implementing the protocols of establishing the Region 6 of Africa in diaspora integration into the African Union?
The issue of integration to the African Union, I think we are working on that. That will be studied effectively before, that is a state question. And if it's going to, Nigeria partake in ECOWAS right now, and we partake in the African Union. So those are issues that will be studied extensively, because we are part of the African Union as well as the United Nations.
Thank you. Same question to Mr. Walara for PDP.
Okay, so, looking at ECOWAS or Africa, or we can see that good relationships among these people is very, very important. And it's something that if you have good impact in some countries that are facing some difficulties. And I like to ask you, Abubakar is somebody that is going to do that according to his own covenants and promises to Nigeria, that we are going to have a full integration among ourselves and even among other unions, being African Union, United Nations, and every other union that we belong to as a body, as a country, and be able to make use of whatever we have in support of other countries too, so that we can have peace among our continents and even in the diaspora. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for that quick answer. The Labour Party representative, same question.
The Labour Party, my presidential candidate, when it gets to become the president of Nigeria, means that the bridge builder, and then Nigeria will be coming from a position of strength, in terms of wealth and numbers, the whole African nation. Nigeria will be classified as wealth, we have enough natural resources. And we are the highest contributors in any of these organizations like United Nations, ECOWAS. Nigeria puts more money there than any other nation in Africa. Just like what America does with the United Nations and the World Health Organization, this is what Nigeria will be doing within there. And that will go ahead to cementing the whole country, the whole nation, the whole African region. And then we're going to go from strength to strength when it becomes the president of Nigeria. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that quick answer also. Now, I'm going to take some questions that we got from the people in Nigeria from the Zoom. Then we'll go back again to those questions from the floor. This one is for Labour Party. It's from Zoom. It says, Why do people of Anambra reject PTO from campaigning in the state?
Reject what, Peter? Peter
Obi from campaigning in the state.
Why did they reject?
Yeah, why do people of Anambra reject Peter Obi from campaigning?
I don't think that's a fact. That's not true.
Okay.
I'm sorry. That's not true.
That was just
The question is wrong.
all right. Thank you for that. Now this one is from Zoom and it's for APC representative. No, it was particularly for they wrote either it's APC or PDP. The one I give for everyone is the one that goes for. All right, this one is for APC. It's from Zoom also. What are the plans of your party of Ashiwaji to address electricity and insecurity in Nigeria?
If you are going on a journey, if you ask the road for the people who have the map, you now miss the road. Lagos today is one of the safest cities or state in Nigeria. You know, it's one of the safest, and the experiences there. I just came from home in December, and it's probably still the safest place. And there's no doubt in Nigeria that it's still the safest. What the plan we have is that there's going to be more police. We're going to use technology, the borders, and invest a whole lot of money. The other question was the electricity. You know, when His Excellency was governor of Lagos, he introduced this idea of the power generation coming home. You know, and even if you go to Lagos today, the electric generation, yeah, we have a lot of work to do to make the power that we need. We have hydropower, but he has said that he will convert some of the money from we having from this food energy, and then we'll be able to have solar, hydro, electric power, coal, combination of all. You know, in Africa, we have a lot of solar energy, so he will be investing a lot.
Thank you very much.
To help us with the economy.
All right. Going back to questions for all three of you. This is a question for all. It says, and I'm starting from PDP this time around. This question says, corruption, insecurity, and lack of basic infrastructures continue to push people out of Nigeria. Poor education and poor financial management of public funds deprives the people from good standard of living. How can we hold any of these incoming leaders accountable to the people when they get into power? So how can we hold
Thank you.
people accountable?
Thank you very much. During the regime of President Olusegun Obasanjo, when Atiku Abubakar happened to be the vice president, that is the time we started EFCC and ICPC to fight corruption. And why did they do that? The reason is to put the country in place. And with that, I believe when our candidates, that is the presidential candidates, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, get back to that seat, I know everything will be okay. And it will tell you, question me if there's anything I have done wrong. And I remember all those allegations against him in respect of corruption. They have gone to a level that even to the Supreme Court, and they couldn't find anything to question him. Same thing, we are going to question every leader, because whatever the political parties we belong to, Nigeria is for everybody. Nigeria is for all of us. And we want the best for our country. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Now, same question for Representative of EPC. Corruption, insecurity, and lack of basic infrastructure continue to push people out of Nigeria. Poor education and poor financial management of public funds deprives the people from good standard of living. How can we hold any of these incoming leaders accountable to the people when they get into power? How can we hold Alaji Asiwaju accountable?
Yeah, the issue of insecurity is very, because according to Maslow, there's three basic things in life that is important: growth, food, and security. And we are saying right now that the country we have is very insecure. This, our leader have introduced technology. You know, recently we just have a drone flying over the US. It was because of technology we were able to bring him down. This gentleman is talking about his community policing. He's going to invest in the economy, bring more people. In terms of corruption, accountability is very important in Nigeria. And we are going to work on that by giving empower the judiciary system so that it will be independent of what they are supposed to do. Like I said, he has been subject of a series of investigations. They are finding wanting, nothing has happened. The issue of infrastructure development. The problem we have in Nigeria is revenue collection. Revenue in Nigeria, people don't pay tax. He was the first governor that turned the economy from $600 to $6 trillion. Like introducing, you know, he's an accountant. He's trained in this. He was the treasurer of one of the 500 first country in the world. He will turn the country.
Thank you so much for that.
Eldorado of economy.
Same question for the Labour Party. Do you want me to repeat or you got it? Corruption, insecurity, and lack of basic infrastructure continues to push people out of Nigeria. Poor education and poor financial management of public funds deprives the people from good standard of living. How can we hold any of these incoming leaders, including Peter Obi, accountable to the people when they get into power?
In terms of corruption, these first two parties that you mentioned, they've always been there. When our crude oil is always stolen, we don't even have correct data of the crude being drilled in Nigeria. We don't have correct data. So when Peter Obi comes into power, he's going to make sure that Nigeria's crude is well calibrated. Anywhere he's going to track it to the place. And this is all being done under the watch of these other parties. And we say we can't continue. In terms of security, he's going to create what he said about community policing. And then for corruption too, if he doesn't take, like from most of his speeches, his wife is not corrupt, his children are not corrupt, his friends are not corrupt. How will the system be corrupt? So you won't even have much to police because everything will be transparent. He's going to run a very transparent government and we'll all be happy in it. He has said he's going to move Nigeria from consumption to production. I've heard other people borrow that cliche to use, but it came from him. He said Nigeria will move from consumption to production. So thank you, folks.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We are trying to, it's 3:34, we should be done by 4 o'clock. So we are going to quickly take the remaining questions and then we'll give the floor if you want this. So this question goes to PDP. It says, Alhaji Atiku understand a lot of Nigerian properties. Undersold, sorry, I didn't see the handwriting. Alhaji Atiku undersold a lot of Nigerian properties and pocketed most of the funds. Are we sure he will not continue to do the same thing with the remaining properties of Nigeria?
I don't really know. Maybe I can have time. I would like us to look at it and say, if it is truly this. I know this issue of privatization, the question will definitely come out. When we are talking about privatization, there is a group, an organization, that is NPC, that is set up, which he, Atiku Abubakar, happened to be the chairman of that group. And when we are talking about privatization sales, we'll be looking at BPE, that is Bureau of Procurement, which he, as a person, have nothing to say. He cannot decide the price. The only thing is that they can look at what they need to privatize. And there are some things, because I would have loved it if I have enough time for us to know this issue of privatization in full, so that we will not be taking some other information that did not happen and we may be spreading it as if it happened. Atiku Abubakar wasn't the one that did the privatization. He is just the chairman of NPC. He is not the chairman of BPE. El-Rufai, the governor of Kaduna State, happened to be the chairman of BPE, which decides the price and who to sell any property to at that time. And I remember that El-Rufai made some submission. He even swear in the name of God that Alhaji Atiku Abubakar never for one day come to them and say, this is the person who said it. The only person he accused of is
Thank you so much.
former president Olusegun Obasanjo.
Thank you.
So now the details I will give you.
Yeah, we don't have enough time for that. Thank you so much. I have more APC questions even from you and any. So you guys will take a break for me. I have only one question left for both of you, but I have more here. They are from Nigeria, Mr. Representative. This one says, it's a funny one. It says, why does the candidate APC believe Nigeria's presidency is his birthright? That is one question. So I'm going to give you two, if you don't mind. So the first one says, why does he, the president of APC, believe that the presidency, Nigeria's presidency, is his birthright? Then the second one is very, I guess, is more of, I don't know. Let's see. So this one says, if it's not, or it's not, you say it is not true that he said, if it is not true that Mobolaji Bankatuni developed Lagos majorly, why claim it was Senator Tinubu? So those are true first.
The first one is the bad part. I'm happy to see who's representing PDP for 16 years. Also, we don't forget, in the last election, one Labour Party had, because they are the same brothers and sisters. They were together. He was the president, and our LP was the vice president. We talk about competence, capacity, ability to deliver. The world record has shown beyond reasonable doubt, evidence-based, that this is one of the best human beings Nigeria could produce at this time. Maybe tomorrow, more, but as of now, the best person, one of the best person that Nigeria could produce is, and we by 2050, by inshallah, by God's grace, the evidence will show.
All right, are you done with both questions?
What is the next one?
The second one is, if it's not true that Mobolaji Bankantoni developed Lagos major, why claim it was Senator Tinubu?
But that's a saying that on whose shoulder that we stand. Yeah, there's no doubt Mark Antony was the former governor. The idea, And there is an African adage that our son is better than us. It's not competing with him, but he stands on his shoulder to make it a better place. And this is what is going to happen. After the Buhari regime, Tinubu will stand on his shoulder and come about economic revolution, because it's an economist of the highest order in the world. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for that. I'm going to, so don't turn it up, because you have more questions, like I said, than everyone else. So I'm going to give you another 2 questions before I go to Labour and PDP. So this person say, what will Tinubu do about crime and security? What will Tinubu do about crime and security? And then this other one says, why should we vote for an old man who can barely stand and is sick? As we all know, he goes to London for treatment, as against a young man who has the strength. Don't you think it is unfair to Nigeria and Africa? So those are the 2 questions.
Good. Thank you. On the issue of crime and security always come out about. And he has laid the infrastructure of the most secure nation. I've never heard when we talk or when people say that Anambra is the most secure place in Nigeria. As a matter of fact, it's one of those people every time there's infighting going on among our brothers. And that has not been corrected. You know, and the vice president who's here today, he was one of those, but as the result of what the infrastructure laid by policing, we're now talking about community policing. It's already in place in Nigeria. If you get to places in Nigeria, there's community policing already gone. It's only when he becomes president in May, that will be official. And the other issue about,
want me to repeat it? Yes. It says, why should we vote for an old man who can barely stand and is sick, as we all know? He goes to London for treatment, as against a young man who has the strength. Don't you think it is unfair to Nigeria and Africa?
Well, the issue, I happen to be a medical doctor, and the issue of health is judged by the fact that he has been running harder than anybody else in this campaign, and you have never seen him fall down. You have never seen him rush to the hospital. He's campaigning every day, campaigning every day. And you have never seen him, just like we went to you. So you people know the importance of the President of America. And it's going to start in that capacity. We're not talking about right now. It's not trying to reward everyone. Sit down and dedicate responsibility to the most competent Nigerian, so that Nigeria will have this economic revolution. So,
thank you so much. Thank you very much. We'll go to PDP. You have the question. Okay. So the first question is, the PDP was kicked out of government, accused of widespread corruption and abuse of power. What has changed? That's number one. Then the second one is, what did Alhaji Atiku do with the allocation of electricity in Nigeria? The allocation. So the first one is, PDP was kicked out for widespread corruption and abuse of power. What has changed? And the other one, what did Atiku do with the allocation for electricity?
Thank you so much. The first question was the issue of what has changed. A lot has changed. A lot has changed. And I want to repeat what I want to say. PDP brought in EFCC and ICCC for the purpose. And The regime that they accused, that I think that's the regime of the last president of the PDP. He said it's required, it's too easy. But the sincere truth is that a lot has changed. It's a lot of workers that is coming up. It is not they that were there before. Personality has a lot to do when it comes to position. Talking about integrity, honesty, humility, all those things intertwine and adjust. Then your second question is talking about the issue of the electricity. You know, I love to allow lights to fly. You know, people love propaganda, like to, they are so lazy, I'm sorry to use that word, to make researches and find out the truth. By the special grace of God, I happen to be a journalist, and I work for 22 good years, and I work in the only international broadcast station in Nigeria. So when I'm talking, I like people to know this, because when we're talking about facts, we need to be talking about facts. When we're talking about documents, we need to talk about documents. There wasn't like that. It wasn't Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. All those ones are just rumors, propaganda.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Mrs. Williams. Now I have the last two questions for the Labour Party representative, Honorable Mike Bukaka. The first one is this. Peter Obi invested taxpayers' money in a company where he was a shareholder. Why should he be rewarded with Nigerian presidents? That's the first one. And then the second and the last one will be, will the Labour Party have enough representation in the legislature to make genuine changes?
I'll start from the last one. We talk about having the numbers to make genuine changes. I told you, if you recall, when I was making my position at first, that Peter ruled Anambra State, a state of almost 6-7 million people with no representative in the House of Assembly. And he was able to build the best network of votes in Nigeria out of the 36 states. He was the only governor that made office with 75 billion naira for the big college governors to use to do work for the states. Every other state government in Nigeria always left the country coffers in the red. So when you see a man with such talents and ability, why won't you give him the responsibility of being the president of Nigeria? Ladies and gentlemen, if you look at us, take advantage of what God gave us in Nigeria to make it. Now, what was the other question?
The other question is it about the legislature? The investment, okay. The other one says, sorry, I thought you had one. It said,
I will ask two questions. I mean, the taxpayers' money, yield profits. Do they lose their investments? Do they lose value? That's what we should be concerned about. All you should be concerned about. The money to put in very much, but I'm sure he never did that.
yeah,
Never did that. So that's false to that. It's all about creating wealth as possible. Ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much. Before we throw the microphone at the town hall to some of you to ask questions or make a speech, first I would like all of you to give a round of applause for Trinity's representative. Big round of applause. Professor Shalema Allah has done very well to represent APC. Mr. Samolara, thank you for representing PDP, and Mr. Michael Kaka. Now that's the end of our debated questions. We'll now go into our town hall session.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Before I do that, please, I beg indulgence to please ask your questions. Be very respectful. You don't want to use the question, please. It's not the point. Just 1 minute question. Because if you have a problem here, you don't shut that here down. So please let us behave like Nigerian Americans. Nigerians, please. I'm pleading. Don't ask the question that will cause problems. Please, I'm just pleading. Thank you so much. So the first person, if you have a question, raise up your hands. I'm going to.
All right, myself, okay, 2 hands first. Johnny from North Carolina, please. The cameraman was just letting me know that you have to, I can't see myself. So if he's here, so, yeah, even with the mic stand, I can't see myself. Yeah, what? So that it's not oh, okay. Camera is only for my video recording right here. So, if you want to put on the stage, yeah, that's all right. Okay, okay. Let's invite.
Gentlemen, you've done an outstanding job presenting your principles. My question, or my correction rather, to the APC, I think it's not very right, because in the 1970s, Nigeria experienced a lot of oil boom, great oil boom. General Yakubu Gowon with Mabalaji Johnson developed Lagos immensely, infrastructure beyond repair. In fact, that is why they hosted Festac. It wasn't Tinubu. For the APC, I mean for the PDP, why does Olusegun Obasanjo, a wonderful and outstanding leader, going around telling the whole nation, don't trust this man. The money he stole from the country can feed the nation for decades. That is the man that knows him the best. He picked him, he hired him. So how can you do anything?
Thank you very much. No, thank you very much for that question, sir. If you can remember in 2015, you remember President Olusegun Obasanjo supported Atiku Abubakar. In 2019, he supported Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. We still even have the videos where he was talking about him being a very reputable person, responsible, somebody that can talk. But one thing I want you to know is that most of our leaders, they know very well that they don't always like somebody to compete with them. They want to have the best legacy. He knew very well that if Atiku Abubakar can come up as the president of Nigeria, he will be able to do what he did. Because he knew that when he was he was doing most of it. And secondly, you know that if you compare these days, there is are not best of friends. And again, if you that you supported Peter Obi, you'll be idolizing him for life. Yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, yes, sir. And that is what we need to do. If we can recognize that it was good, and people are happy to be his vice president, right?
The question that Lagos belongs to all. Nigeria belongs to all. I know this should people, but it was in the Bible that wise man said they give them to the money. They didn't specify they give it all to Nigeria. What do they do with their money? when Lagos turned 600 million to 6 trillion. What do they do with the money that was passed to everybody? So it was this gentleman who was in power, and he invested the money, and today everybody enjoys this investment capacity, and that is what Nigerians need.
Thank you very much. Another question, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, everybody, and thank you for the organization of this program. My name is Dr. Ogunle. I'm the chairman of Afenifere USA. And my first question will go to the APC representative, Dr. Ola Shalewa. He made mention of one thing now, that the Lagos State IGR over years of 23 years has risen to about 1 billion naira. So my question now to you, if Lagos State is generating so much money of that highest number, and as of today, there's no tap water in Lagos State, no drop of water coming from the tap, where's the money going? No sewage system. We all know that water is the beginning of every society because of the clean water and cleaning the water we bring. There's no water. Where is the money going? Where is the development in Lagos State? When you are generating so much, simple water you cannot get. No housing. That one they left Lagos State with housing estates. That one they space. That one they space. Where is Lagos State? Lagos State Nursing, Lagos State School of Nursing. Who occupied that space now? Who occupied that Lagos State School of Nursing now? Ashwadu, your candidate. Who occupied Lagos State Polytechnic now? The school meant for technical school.
Cyber please.
Ashwadu, answer those questions for me.
Thank you.
An easy life ahead that we have to come. You know, by 25th, we be the president, because it belongs to all of us. And the gentleman who is talking happens to be a friend of mine. The city he's talking about have a population of almost 23 million. Another state like Ekiti have less than 1 million people. So when we have to cater for almost 40 million people, the infrastructure, you know, overladen, and the gentleman he's talking about has been out of power for the past 20-something years. Everybody's accusing of what happened after 20-something years. Yeah, give him that opportunity to come back again to the mighty. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Ola. Please let me ask a question. That goes to the PDP, if you wouldn't mind. Okay. When we were speaking, I heard what you said about Abubakar Atiku is not tribalistic. That's right. And there was a presentation in the North where he stated, do not vote for Igbo man. Do not vote for Yoruba man. So what does that reflect? Thank you.
I said it when I was asking the question. I said I'm a journalist. And I know what we is to. This program, we can reduce it to a level that we pick what we want to be. You have forgotten what is said before that statement, after that statement. Why can't we bring out the old things and watch it and confirm that that is exactly what it said? I watched it because after that accusation, I told you that I always believe in facts and documents, maybe because of my job. But sincerity there is, I watch it from the beginning to the end. It's, for example, I can be talking to people of my tribe now, and I'm also talking about, I am a Pan-African man. Don't look at tribes. Don't say because this is Yoruba, this is Igbo, this is Hausa, this is Fulani, and use that to vote. That is exactly what Alhaji was saying that day. I would have loved us to go back. We still have that clip. Please, I beg us to go back and listen from beginning to the end.
Thank you
so
very
that
much.
we can get the facts from
Thank you very much. Please, I've just been notified that the campus has given us extra time for 30 minutes. So I'm going to try and utilize it as much as possible. I have people who want to make one or two comments, but please, I want to reinstate. Let us be civil. Let us not insult each other. We have seen, at least on TV, CNN, MSNBC, so many town hall meetings. And if we are agitating for our country to be like United States, politics should be civil. We should not, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, Tinubu, they are not going to be boxing each other. They were recently signing the peace agreement. They were laughing and drinking wine together. But we supporters are the one putting on the glove box. So please let us refrain from, at least there is some civilized way of conveying your message and that everyone will understand. So I want to recognize one of our community leaders, former president of Nigeria Foundation, former president of the Yoruba community. He is a guru of the Yorubas. Dr. Prince, he's a prince too, he's a prince in Holland. Prince Dr. Adeleke. 1 minute, your question or your comment. But please be civil.
Good afternoon or good evening, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, let me appreciate this committee. And to be honest with you, I really appreciate the work of the panelists. For my good friend, Chief of Kaka, the MP. Nice meeting you. I got it about you. And this is time of seeing. And to my own employee. And our own group of people, Dr. Ukenaduru, and my own good friend. Because show me your friend and let me know who you have. I'm talking person of His Excellency Honorable Yasiba. 4 years ago in Nigeria, he was among the contestants. And he was the presidential candidate of Safe Nigeria Congress. After the election, came number 11. That was after some years. And geographically spread, came number 5. Other parties geographically spread. So I always give him that. Now, I'm just here because to organize that, you try your possible best. But the audience, sometimes we have unlocked more than usual 30 minutes to the audience to let us contribute. We've already asked our questions, different papers submitted. Just like the moderator said, my name is has already been said. The issue here, I'm just here to throw some light on my own candidate, the person of Chief Bola Ahmed. Because my brother has tried all his possible best, but I believe the tree can never make a forest. Because you've been bombarded with many questions concerning Asiba. And you cannot expect him to have all the answers to all the questions. But I tried and tried. Because here, one of my good friends, my junior brother, a great coordinator, as he said, because a great coordinator, both, North America, he came here to have all that happened in Lagos State, Let me tell you one thing. Governance is a matter of continuity. It's just like a race. You run a race, you hand the baton to another person to continue. So no one has monopoly of knowledge. No one can finish all the job. That is why when we were born, when they started this government, it still continue. And afterwards, it continue. So if you expect as one to fix all the problem in Lagos, it's not possible.
Thank you so much, Dr.
It started it and move it forward.
Time is
And
essential.
Lagos will continue to move forward progressively. That's why the Southwest.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Lily. On a quick note, I'll call the president of the Igbo community, Igbo Cultural, Chief Gabe Ugu, for your comments. A round of applause for Chief Gabe.
My comment is twofold. Number one, every capital has an advantage. I'm from Enugu. Enugu used to be the capital of the Eastern region. Enugu today is one of the best cities in that region from its position of capital. In the case of Lagos, Lagos was put together by our former colonialists, British. It was the entry point, the seaport, the administrative capital, the financial capital. If you can imagine putting Washington, D.C. in New York, that's exactly what Lagos is. So Lagos took that advantage over every other city in Nigeria. So that has started. If another city has been the capital, that city will be better than Lagos. That's number one. My second comment, Atiku and American University in Nigeria, the FBI came to repatriate him to this place because of all the dealings, messy dealings he had. It was a passenger that said, I cannot, present my vice president for you to take him. And of course.
Thank you very much, the Chief Ugu. We appreciate that. Every representative wants to say more, which even if we speak till tomorrow, it's not, you know how debates go, we will never have conclusions. But I just want again, once more, to thank everyone here for coming. Please, a round of applause for all of you. In a few weeks, we will all see the results of the election, and then we'll be proud to be part of history, because we are part of history today. My African-American ladies, we really appreciate your coming. Thank you. We're going to do the closing remark. But before then, I just want to introduce my assistant, who has been running up and down. Some of you know him, some of you don't, but he's the Imperial Chief of the Igbo Kingdom. And ladies and gentlemen, we can do a round of applause for him. A big round of applause. Thank you. It's not very often that you see a high chief trying to go up. Actually, we service them, but this time he's servicing us. You see what politics can do? The leader is servicing the people, and that's the kind of leadership we want. But I know after today now, I have to carry my wife to from the agenda, we would like to give the vote of thanks, and that will be Mike Okaka. Please give the vote of thanks, and then we can round this up. Thank you. We have refreshments in the back, so please, after the vote of thanks, let's help ourselves to cookies and water. Water is very healthy, but don't you?
I'd like to say a big thank you to everybody that came today. And then the organizers, the moderator, Chief Ruburu, and the guy that came all the way from North Carolina, my good friend, Chief Johnny Obika. Thank you so much for gracing this occasion. That shows you how important Nigeria is to most people who are Nigerians. May God help us to get us out of this mess that the country is. Most of these other people who are looking for this same position have been through there 16 years, PDP, and we're still in the same mess. APC, but it's okay. But I'm just, it just okay. I don't need to. We'll still be friends. Ola is my very good friend, right? My body is good, and I just feel that it's gonna be my friend as well. But anyway, but you see, this is what we learn from this country. Back home, or we fight. Nice, all of us want the other person there. But because we're in this climb, these good practices of democracy, that's why we're going to transfer it to our people. This is the first time a thing like this is happening to the diaspora, and it's a welcome thing, and I'm sure it's going to be continuous. Again, thank you again. And may God bless all of us and give us the right leader. And that's when you see this is Labour Party, you see where you put your thumb, that's where you're going to do it. And Nigeria will be better. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Michael Kaka. I'll call on Mrs. Amolara, the closing remark from you.
Thank you so much. I'm very happy to be part of this program, and I'm happy to meet everyone that is there. And I want to tell you one thing. This is not the time to put learners there. It is not the time for us to wait for people that doesn't really know what it takes to be a president of the country. Somebody that has the experience. There is a difference between experience and experiments. We don't need experiments now. We don't need tests again. We want Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, the unifier, the Pan-African Nigerian, and the only person that can make Nigeria to grow. Vote for Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. That is the next president that's coming in Nigeria. Thank you very much.
So my moderator is signaling to me. I'll quickly call on Professor Shaliwa Ola for you, please.
Thank you all so much. I wanted to first thank all these members of their respective presidential campaign council, serve the nation. My good friend, Honorable Mike, as a member of the Labour Party Presidential Campaign Council, please give him a hand. And also, Madam Williams, our husband, who drove all the way almost 50 miles to be here. Thank you, my husband, member of the distinguished Vice President, Council of President. So, we are here at the end of the debate. I wanted also to thank each and everyone, especially all of you, our leaders, this community who have joined forces, and then my students and our friends from out of state, and especially Nigerians who joined us for the past 2-3 hours as we deliberate how to make a better country. Like the moderator, please give a hand to the moderators. The father of the nation. Everything that you see. The vice president, governors, they have done a very good job. They have offered the service. So we do have room for them. We are not going to abide with that because we are going to be the president of the nation. Everybody that is a tribe, race, again. So we are asking all of you, especially from home who's watching us, to remember the capacity, to remember the economy. What issue do we have in Nigeria? We have done it before, So please, ladies and gentlemen, remember this time.
Thank you very much. On that note, I want to thank everyone for coming, especially those that have spent 2-3 hours with us in Nigeria. We will do the closing prayer by none other than Praise Dr. Adeleke, please give us the Muslim prayer. We started with a Christian prayer. We'll end with a Muslim prayer. Nigeria is both religiously polarized. So our Muslim prayer.
Oh, yeah, thank you very much. You see, our moderator is telling me just prayer. Because just want people, and I won't go far, to be honest with you. So, to be honest with you, I really appreciate every one of us. And just like last panel said, it is our time, our local, based on tenacity, capacity, and capability. So now, give glory to Almighty God for making this thing possible. Because it is easier said than done. To put a program together is not easy. But we thank Almighty Allah for bringing us here through the effort of the people that put the program together. And we are here for a purpose, every one of us. Whether we belong to the right, left, east, north, west, and south, the purpose is to make sure that our country, nothing like home, Nigeria is our home. Whether we like it or not, it is our home. We pray to Almighty God that the purpose of being here is to make sure that Nigeria gets better. And by the special grace of God, Nigeria will get much progressively better. Inshallah. And we thank God for keeping us. And we continue asking Him to keep on keeping us to the day of election and beyond the day of election, so that we reap the fruit, the excellent fruit of Nigeria. Because Nigeria is blessed in terms of everything. Natural, human capital, and what have you. And Almighty Allah will make it possible so that we benefit positively through the good, dependable leadership by the special grace of God. Now, oh Allah, we ask you for bringing us here. We ask you to please continue be with us when we are going to our different places. Most of the people that come outside the country, Canada might be 2 minutes, might be 1 minute. From here might be 5 minutes, but it's still another country. Almighty Allah will guide you, protect you to your destination. And importantly, we ask for peace in Nigeria. And after the election, we ask for peace. Almighty Allah will make peace possible in Nigeria. And we make it peace possible for us in America too, by the special grace of God. And we thank you, Allah, for being with us now and to continue being with us till the end of our life. We ask for your protection. We ask for your safety. We ask for your guidance. And we ask for your blessing, prosperity, and longevity. Inshallah. Lord, Fatiha, you just be saying Amen. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alamin. Rahman Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim. Ghayril maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amin ya Allah. Amin kun fayakun. Amin subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun. Wa salamun salina walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Amen. Amen. Thank you.
Let the candidates stand up and shake hands. The representatives, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you all. God bless Nigeria and God bless this United States of America. Next video.